How do I get the link for it? Like,
If you do,
That's
just
okay.
your
It's on your channel. I got it.
okay,
yeah, your channel will work.
so it's going live now. How do I get the link
It's
for
live. It's live. Hi, hello.
it? It's live.
Chop that grass.
Yeah. Okay, everyone watching, we are streaming gameplay of Breath of the Wild and discussing what we want to see in the game and all that fun stuff. And also, we'll be talking to you. So if you have any questions or thoughts, just let us know and we'll try to answer everything. Yeah. So why don't you guys go ahead and introduce yourselves?
Certainly. I'm Eric Schiller, so I'm a freelance news writer for IGN. I guess I'll go ahead and announce that I'm also the new features writer for Zelda Universe. And I do my own Twitch streaming of Zelda games. So yeah, I'm really excited to be here and take a look at this footage and see what we got to discover.
Alright. And Nate,
Nice.
how about you?
So I'm Nathaniel Rumpel-Jantz from Zelda Informer, the editor-in-chief. I do a couple other projects too, but that's my main gig. Yeah, Breath of the Wild. I played a lot of it, so.
Oh, were
Yeah.
you at E3?
Oh yeah,
You lucky bit.
I played a grand total of like almost 4 hours of the game. So.
Oh,
That's my roommate in the background.
you've gotten to play
Whoopee.
4 hours?
Yeah.
Was it all like the same?
Yeah, it was the
demo?
same demos.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you were
Two
just
different
able. Did it have the time limit set on it, or were you able
Yeah.
to freely?
It was 35 minutes. One demo was 20 minutes. One was 15.
That's so cool. Did you get the coin and the shirt and stuff? He's gonna show it off.
Points.
Oh, several coins. Oh, look at
I've
that.
got like 8 of them. I've got 6 shirts. I don't have any of them in here right now though. Well, there's probably one hanging in the closet, but.
I'm so jelly. Can you hook me up? Maybe
Yeah,
I can
well,
do
it was
something
an
in
expensive trip.
exchange.
So.
Yeah, I bet. Can they
Well,
hear
I don't-
the game audio?
Yeah, let us know if you guys can hear the game audio and hear us.
What on earth
Good.
is going on here?
Yeah, but yeah, that's what I'm reading the chat, and they're like, "What is happening?"
I don't know if you can hear the game audio because I turned off the audio because I'm like, I don't need to hear us talk like 2 minutes later.
Okay.
Yeah, luckily I can hear ourselves live, but that's because of Skype. So.
Bonana says, "Oh my god, I'm gonna love this stream."
Yeah. Hi, Bo.
I don't have any of them in here right now.
We
though.
love you too.
Well, there's probably
Oh.
one hanging in the closet, but what on earth is going on here?
You can pretend this is a heart container.
Can you leave the plateau? Not in the demo.
Not in the demo. Yeah, I did catch that.
I mean, in theory, you could, because the demo, it's like the full game. They didn't really hold back anything. They just don't give you enough time to complete all 4 shrines to get off the plateau.
Are there only 4
I
shrines
think at
on the
E3,
plateau?
someone at E3 got through 3 of the shrines and got to the 4th by the time the timer went off. But
Okay, it sounds like the stream is working for people. That's awesome.
Yeah. Someone says nope. If it's not working, I imagine it's the other person's internet, since it's working for some and not for others. We have 18 people watching, which is kind of cool.
That's cool. Hello, 18 people.
it's more than my average.
So,
Yeah, it's more than I average too.
well, I never do anything like this, so maybe they're just curious on how it's going to mess up.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting in the future when I do some streams because I just figured out how to stream to our Facebook followers while streaming to YouTube and streaming to Twitch at the same time. And I don't know how I'm going to be able to follow all the chats.
Yeah.
Okay, so a lot of people in the chat really want to know where you got this footage.
Oh yeah. For the people that weren't here at the very beginning of the stream, this is basically collected gameplay from YouTube, since obviously nobody outside of Nintendo officially has the actual game. So we're just watching and discussing Breath of the Wild footage and talking to you guys in the chat, communicating back and forth, and all of that fun stuff.
How are you playing the game now? As
I
was
wonder
just
if
explained.
I wonder if I'm actually. I hope I'm not experiencing a delay here. Are you guys seeing Link like running across the grass and then climbing up a rock?
I see him shooting arrows at some water.
Yeah, he's shooting at the water.
Oh darn! I think
Running
I'm
across the
experiencing
water.
a delay. For me, a Korok just appeared.
Yeah.
All right, let me figure this out. You guys can go ahead.
Try
and,
refreshing it. Just refresh
yeah.
the page.
Yeah, just go ahead and waste those ice arrows.
Yeah, have you been checking out the new videos Nintendo's been releasing for Breath of the Wild?
Yes.
You mean videos that just show off the same stuff we've already seen? Yeah.
Yeah, but one of the things that I noticed is like the bomb arrows that they brought back. I didn't know that they were bringing those back. I guess you could assume they were, but something I thought was interesting.
They're in the demo. So.
Right. Do you know if it's the runes that give you the power to use the ice fire arrows and all that? Or...
Nope. Those are separate arrows.
Okay. Oh, ooh la la. We got shirtless Link. Shirtless Link in the house!
Yeah.
Okay, so... What? Go on.
I was gonna say, like, one thing that I was worried about is, like, with the bomb arrows. Like, are they going to be physical bombs that you can get and equip with your arrows, or is it going to use the magic from the Sheikah Slate, how you make the bombs with the Sheikah Slate, and then you just put it with the arrows?
No, the arrows are a totally separate thing. They're just like, you know, in the past, like you'd cut grass and some arrows would pop up. That's kind of how these arrows work. Except they're not, obviously, in the grass. You find them in different chests and hidden in different areas. So, like, I'm sure you've seen, like, the fire arrows get found. It's a lot like that.
Right. So, what about, do you think that will lead to actual bombs being found in the game, or do you think we're always going to be relying on the Sheikah Slate?
I don't think there's going to be bombs in the game. It's going to all be Sheikah slated.
Alright. What about...
I mean, I kind of look at it as, what else do you need? What else would you need bombs for in the game when you have an unlimited supply already?
Yeah. What about other items in the game? Do you think the Sheikah Slate's going to take the place of other items that we would traditionally get in the Zelda game, like Boomerang or Claw Shot, Hook Shot, or whatever? Or do you think we're actually physically going to get some of those items?
I think the Sheikah Slate, based on what I've seen and what Nintendo has said, is going to be for any sort of items that Nintendo wants to make sure you never run out of. Obviously, they have bombs. You know, you have the magnesis and the stasis ability. That's all stuff Nintendo wants to make sure you can do at all times. So, in the case of, say, some of the more unique items, Zelda, like the Claw Shot and the Hook Shot, for starters, I don't think that's even going to be in this game, since you can climb everything. It kind of got rid of the need to have like a Claw Shot or Hook Shot. But yeah, I mean, there's probably going to be, you know, like I said, bombs is of the rune abilities we've seen, bombs is obviously the most traditional. So we'll see. I don't remember off the top of my head how many slots were actually on the Sheikah Slate. I want to say it was 8, but I don't remember off the top of my head.
Yeah.
But we've only saw 4 of the rune abilities.
Yeah, do you think like those 8 slots or so might be set, or we'll end up like swapping them out for like other abilities, and then, you know, as we need them, sort of like you know, a Link Between Worlds where we can rent out items from the rabbit dude.
Sure.
I forgot his name.
I think
Ravia.
based on the
Yeah.
like the lore that you get inside the shrines when you get them, I think those abilities are kind of set in stone. I think what might happen is because there's over 100 shrines, and not all of them are giving you rune abilities. Like most of them aren't giving you rune abilities. But I think that there might be things you find in the shrines that expand upon those abilities. As an example, when you get the bomb rune, you have two types of bombs. They could add other types of bombs that you can unlock for that rune over time. To maybe get a bomb shoe type bomb back in the game, or sticky bombs or something.
Yeah.
I want to say real quick that I think the idea of cubicle bombs is so cool. Like, no, seriously, like I was playing Skyward Sword and I was throwing this bomb on this little platform, and it's like, I actually thought if I had a cubicle bomb, it would quit rolling off the platform and do what I needed to do.
Oh, it was. I played the demo 2 full times before I realized you could switch bomb types. So I was just using those round ones, and I'm like, I'm timing all my throws and my sets to be perfect, like I did in prior Zelda games. Like, I don't want my bomb rolling away. And all of a sudden, a rep my third time through is like, "Oh yeah, I remember seeing you play before. Did you know you can change your bomb type so you don't have to waste time and you know like throw your bombs and detonate them in midair to make sure they roll or don't roll?" I'm like, really? Man, that saves me a lot of time.
I know, right? It's such a cool idea. It's a simple concept, but it's so cool. I'm thrilled with the idea of having cube shaped bombs.
Yeah. What about like in terms of like right now we see him running around with the fire and everything. What other elemental things do you think we'll be able to see in this game?
Well, obviously ice. We saw ice in the arrows.
Yep, see, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the like obviously with the fire you can burn down a lot of grass and trees, potentially like entire fields. What do you think we would be able to do with ice or other elemental stuff? Because there was a thing in an interview a long time ago, Miyamoto, I believe it was Miyamoto, said that the world will change depending on your actions in this game, and obviously, like doing stuff to raise the shrines and burning down fields, cutting down trees to make bridges, like obviously that's some stuff that you can do, but what other things do you think you can do with the ice or whatever that will allow you to change the environment around you?
Well, there is that one rune. I want to say it's the Cryonis rune, where you're literally like freezing pillars of ice and out of the water. Um, I wonder if that might be used for like other areas of the game where we have like liquid matter that we need to make solid in order to break or climb it, or like how would that affect a waterfall or something? I don't know. What would you think? Um,
Um, the Krynos ability, I don't think it's gonna have. Kind of like all the rune abilities. I don't really think either of all of them, except for bombs, have any long-term effects on the land because everything they do is temporary and then it stops. So like even if you say like you build like use the cryonis and like redirect a waterfall, it's gonna go back to what it was doing as soon as it goes away.
yeah.
Um, so I in terms of environmental things, I'm still not sure that what you do to the world now is going to stay in the world. Obviously, I had a really short time with the demo. We know, in other games, sometimes you chop down a tree, you come back to it 10 minutes later, and the tree's back. I don't really know if the environment like the stuff you do to it actually stays permanently because we haven't had enough time to verify if that's the case.
How did
Um,
that tree grow back so fast?
But it's just and it makes sense. It's a video game thing, regenning resources and all stuff. Like I get it. Because imagine if you were someone that was cynical and you chopped down every single tree in the whole game, so there's no trees left, and then you go forward and you're trying to make a campfire to cook, but you can't because you can't get firewood because you chopped down every tree in the game.
That's hilarious.
I don't know. I'm not sure someone would do that, but yeah, there's somebody out there who wants to watch the world burn, get rid of all trees, burn down all the grass.
Yeah, with the environmental changes, some things that come to mind is, for example, in Ocarina of Time, you can refill Lake Hylia after it dries up.
Sure.
In Majora's Mask, you change the entire northern region from ice to spring.
Hmm.
That completely changes the environment, how you can progress through, and it opens up side quests and other missions. In Skyward Sword, the Faron Woods completely flood for that one event. Uh, do you think it's possible for things like that to also happen in this game, to where an environment, depending on whether you're the cause of it or not, to completely change?
Yeah, I'm hoping. I didn't see it in the demo, but again, limited time, limited demo, limited
Mhm.
ability to. I don't want to say limited ability to affect the world, but you don't have all your full arsenal of stuff. Um, I talked about this in the podcast. I think I did in my reaction to the demo, and it was something about how it would be really cool if like there were side quests and things you do to like alter the environment, to say like there's like a town has a problem of flooding and you like can permanently alter the environment to fix the flooding problem. um that's stuff I hope is in the game, like being able to affect the world that deeply. But I don't know. I mean the game already does, a lot, especially for being a Wii U title. um yeah,
All
i'm
right.
i'm, I'm hopeful. The thing is, like, the demo just makes me think of the possibilities, and Um, Nintendo needs to let me come over and play for a few
I
Um,
want
without restrictions. Just let me see how far I can get and figure some stuff out.
we all want that. But I want to add that since we're talking about environment and elements, that in this game it seems like temperature is playing such a key role in the game. Like,
Sure.
we need fire. I feel like if you carry fire around, you'll be able to last longer in a frozen environment if you don't have the proper clothing and etc. Maybe we'll need ice to get through a hot environment like a desert.
Mhm.
Um, or I don't know what other kind of elements we would see. We've seen electricity in the past. It's in Skyward Sword. We have like electricity as a factor,
Yep.
and then we also have curses, if that counts as an element.
Yeah. And there is lightning in the game. Um, so that kind of electricity does exist and lights fires and does other things. It wasn't in the demo because they removed weather effects from the demo because it wasn't optimized. So they were worried about. They were worried that people were going to play at like 5 FPS because a big lightning strike happened. The game froze up. um, but yeah, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what they do with all this stuff. Like you brought up the carrying the torch in the frozen area if you don't have the clothes. Um, it's actually interesting. I kind of did a frozen area death run naked, um, where I just kept repeatedly dying, and I proved that you could still get everything done you need to in the frozen area, even if you're dying all the time, because it'll let you progress a little bit further where you respawn after you die. So that was kind of cool. But um, like with the torch, so far we haven't had any sort of lightable object in the game that doesn't break. Uh, so, like, when you light a club and you walk into the frozen area, it helps a little bit, but it's a very tiny sliver, and then it burns up after like 30 seconds.
Mm.
Um, so it's really not a lot of help. I think the game's really like pushing you towards, hey, you should probably find some clothes, or you should, like, if you're in a desert, maybe you should take your shirt off because it's a
Yeah.
freaking hot.
Oh, everyone will love that.
Yeah,
Uh,
speaking of taking your clothes off, we already know at some extent clothes can affect whether or not you can like go in certain areas or not. We've seen that in past, like with Ocarina of Time, you needed the red tunic to go to inside Death
yeah.
Mountain. Do you think we will get those types of tunics again, to where you'll meet up with some Grons or something? Something will happen, and you'll get the traditional red tunic to where you can withstand going into Death Mountain, if that's a place in this game.
Well,
Ah.
my honest opinion is I feel like the traditional tunics are not really going to be in the game. I feel like it's going to be very much like more like customizable clothing. And if there is a tunic in the game, it's going to be more like an Easter egg. Like, oh, look, it's Link's tunic, and you can wear it. Yeah, I feel like this game is like taking clothing in a whole new direction for Link. It's almost like a fashion game. Like, dress up Link however you want. But I feel like there's a lot more variety in clothing. Maybe they got inspiration from Triforce Heroes.
Sure.
Yeah.
I so clothing wise, I kind of think that you know the traditional tunic's probably in the game somewhere. You obviously
Yeah.
don't need it to beat the game because they've already said that you can go straight to Calamity again, and once you're done with the very first area. So I I don't know that we're going to see variations on that tunic like we've seen in the past because they introduced this whole clothing system, this customization to your character and all this stuff to the point where I don't think they're going to be relying. Like in the past, you couldn't run naked. You couldn't. There weren't like these winter type clothes outside of the different color tunics, and because this game doesn't rely upon the tunics, I don't think it's going to have those kind of tunics for things like underwater breathing or being able to resist fire and the volcanic mountain, whatever it is, probably Death Mountain. I just think they're just going to have just maybe even clothes that are more attributed to the tribe, because in the past it used to always be, oh, all the clothes are based on the hero's tunic. Everything that's made is based on the hero's tunic. And somehow, even though Gorons cannot wear these clothes, they made them anyways.
Yeah.
It's going to be something that makes more sense that, this is something that a Goron would wear to resist something. More tribal. Like, we've already seen, like, Sheikah symbols all over some of Link's attire in some of the trailers. So I think it's going to be some more like that. Where like, oh, if you go to Zora's and they want to teach you how to swim underwater, like they're going to make some special stuff that's representative of their tribe, rather than just being like, yeah, here is now the blue version of something you already have.
Yeah, I want to clarify that I do believe there are going to be pieces of clothing that are like heat resistant or help you deal with the cold, but they're not going to be like the Zora tunic or the Goron tunic. They're going to be like their own unique articles of clothing.
Yeah, I'm actually really interested to see what they do because they have that temperature gauge, which you can see in the footage there, and that determines if you need to take clothes off, put thicker clothes on, etc., etc. And I'm wondering how that's going to be affected in. It's obvious how it's affected in the snow area. You got to put some warm stuff on, but I wonder how it's going to be like in a volcanic area where you really don't put clothes on, but then again, you don't want your skin to melt off. So it'll be interesting to see how they kind of approach that area, especially with the temperature gauge. So clearly, you're going to be hot as you could possibly be.
Yeah.
And I don't...
Magic.
Obviously magic. Obviously.
Yes.
All right, so
Pixie dust.
we have a question from the chat asking, do you think this game will be a convergence of all of the different timelines? Ocarina of Time obviously causes the split. Do you think this game somehow brings it back together, since it does show elements from each of the separate timelines? We see the Koroks, the references to Twilight Princess. A lot of people thinks it takes place in the Downfall timeline. What are your thoughts on this?
I wish. But I don't think that's what they're going to do.
Yeah, I agree. I don't think it's going to be a convergence of a median of all the timelines. I really do think it's going to take place in one of the defined timelines.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Yeah. I mean, it is interesting.
No, go on.
Oh no, I said it is. We do have like evidence of it being in the Fallen timeline, and of course we have evidence of it being in the adult timeline. But I strongly feel that it's going to be in one of those two timelines. I haven't seen much evidence for the child timeline.
The evidence for that is mostly like the Twilight Princess amiibo.
Yeah, and
Oh, is that it?
well, there's that, and during some interviews promoting Twilight Princess, it was either Ayanuma or Miyamoto said that
Yeah,
while
hinted back that
playing,
you're gonna want to go back and play Twilight Princess.
yeah, he said that
Right, he did say that.
yeah, you'll be reminded of Twilight Princess a lot. And what, like,
Yeah,
obviously, if you're playing with your wolf amiibo buddy, then you're going to be reminded of Twilight Princess.
yeah. I honestly, now that we know what the Wolf Link amiibo does, I think all those comments were just about, yeah, you're gonna want that Wolf Link buddy, so you're gonna want to go back and play Twilight Princess HD, so you can have your Wolf Link buddy.
Yeah,
I honestly think that's what he's talking about, because just based on my demo, like nothing in the actual game world so far hints to anything from Twilight Princess. I know
Yeah,
there was
there's
like
in the
that one.
gameplay nothing. Yeah.
Yeah, there was that one trailer that showed what might have been the Bridge of Eldin or something like that, somewhere else in the game, and that might be a reference. But you know, there's nothing saying that bridge didn't exist in other timelines. We just never had a reason to visit it. Um, and based on what I've seen, clearly it takes place after Ocarina of Time. That's for certain. You know, there's definitely what appears. You know, I'm not Nintendo. I can't say it officially, but it definitely appears that there is a ruined Ocarina of Time Castle Town going on.
right.
Uh, and you know, there obviously is the Skyward Sword goddess statue, which, you know, what the heck's that doing there? We haven't seen that since Skyward Sword in any of the other games. Um, so you know, there's some references to multiple games, but everything that I see seems to be pointing to a post Wind Waker Hyrule is unflooded world. From just from the evidence I've seen, with everything being in ruins, which would happen if the world is flooded. There was obviously a great battle that occurred with the Sheikah tribe. You know, however that worked out or what happened, obviously led to the Sheikah not really being around or being in hiding. You have the Koroks, who are still around, and that's obviously the biggest connection to the Wind Waker itself. Not that Koroks can't exist in other timelines, but the reason for their existence had to do with the flooding originally. Nintendo retcons a lot, so who knows?
Yeah.
I do agree that the evidence for the adult timeline is very strong. Obviously, the Koroks are the strongest link.
Yeah.
But I am a big fan of the downfall timeline theory. Actually, I watched a really good theory video put together by Nintendo World Report, and they had a lot of like compelling evidence supporting the downfall timeline theory. They even claim that this link may be the same link as the Link to the Past and Link's Awakening link, which for me is super exciting because now I have this in my head. I have it canon where Link's Awakening actually takes place when he's sitting in that tub. But yeah, but
it's okay.
Oh,
yeah,
we,
but
we bumped up to 50 viewers for a moment.
oh, nice.
Yeah.
But yeah, also like one of my favorite like pieces of evidence supporting that they might be the same link is the sideburns. You gotta admit, have you seen the hair timeline?
The hair.
Oh, I've seen that. The hair timeline. It's legit.
Yes.
Is that like a parody video? Or
no, it's no
it's the
video
official timeline. That is just it. All it does is show the head and the hair of all the links, and the hair like you can look at all the hairs and it matches up with which timeline it's in.
Yes,
Like it's like a perfect match, and it's weird because a lot of those links aren't the same link. It's multiple links, but it doesn't matter. Like they all, for some reason, have like the same hairstyle.
right.
Yeah, it's like the poofy hairline and then the side swept.
Yeah, the only
hairline.
thing that like stands out with this like is he has a ponytail. Haven't seen
He
that
does
before.
have a ponytail. Oh no, we have
the
in the
sideburns-
manga.
Oh well. Okay. We're gonna start including the manga. Then there's a lot of stuff that's happening that we should
Yeah,
be considered.
one thing that I hate, like I don't mind negative comments or criticism, but the one thing that I hate getting on my videos is somebody commenting, "Oh, this theory isn't right. Have you not read the manga?" And it's like, well, for one, the stories of the manga completely contradict the stories of the actual game. and
Some,
like
not always.
sometimes
A lot.
like
Yeah.
A Link to the Past has the Japanese manga, and then I think it had the Nintendo Power comic, which tell
Yep.
similar stories,
Different.
but there are
Yeah,
some
but a slight
differences.
differences. Yeah.
And each of those are different to the actual game. And then with Ocarina of Time, something really quick is in the manga, when you're a child, Link adopts or buys a baby Volvagia from the bazaar in Hyrule Castle. And it's like, where do you do that in the game? You can't go on the manga if, like, the game. I don't know. Just this is the whole thing.
Like I always view the
Well,
manga as it tries to fill the in between plot holes that the game just isn't going to tell you.
yeah, and I view the
But
manga
at the
this.
same time, it's officially licensed stuff that it does get okay by Nintendo. But as was kind of sort of hinted at in Hyrule Historia, isn't really canon to anything to do with the timeline. It's just kind of there. It exists. It gives you a possibility. But
It's
it's
like
really
Hyrule
just something that the
Warriors.
author kind of made up to what they
Yeah.
think happened. It's almost fan fiction, except it's
Yeah.
officially licensed and can be sold for money.
Yeah, just like Hyrule Warriors.
Just like Hyrule Warriors.
Yeah,
It exists.
um,
It's part of the universe, but it's
Hy-
not part of the time.
yeah, Hyrule Warriors is obviously such a great success on the Wii U. Do you think they're going to bring over like, they had Hyrule Warriors and then they had Legends for the 3DS. Do you think they're going to have a third version for the Nintendo NX that includes assets from Breath of the Wild?
I think that they should just do a Hyrule Warriors 2.
I agree.
They
If
have
they're
a lot of
going,
games they haven't touched, a lot of characters they haven't touched, a lot of characters in the games they've already included they haven't touched.
Oh, wow.
Now they have Breath of the Wild, and if Breath of the Wild is a massive success, it's actually a good time to let's do Hyrule Warriors 2 and put some of the Breath of the Wild characters out there as like a good advertisement for it. I think what we're probably going to end up getting is the Ultimate Edition, which is just all the content in HD on the NX.
Yeah.
But I would prefer them to just say, Hyrule Warriors 2. Because clearly, Koei Tecmo has stated that it's like one of the most successful games they've had with that franchise, that whole Dynasty Warriors franchise in a long time. So there's definitely a market for them to kind of push forward and try it. They might even be developing it already. Who knows?
Alright, adding someone else.
yay!
This is Hannah. She streams Zelda games on Twitch and stuff as well.
Yay, Twitch streams.
Yay. Twitch streams. I stream. Hi.
Are you here, Hannah?
I don't see him yet.
I just see an upside down photo of her dressed as Samus. Is that Samus? I don't even know. Can't tell the photo.